Hi everyone, how's everyone doing here today? And today I wanted to talk briefly about the Constitution, about the GOP, and as far as growing a sense of courage and learning to move on. Which this is obviously in regards to a new surreal point that we've reached where, yeah, Donald Trump, once again, our former president, wants to terminate the Constitution because, you know, it's suddenly become an inconvenience. And that somehow he's going to be put back in the White House in replace of Joe Biden. Obviously, that's not going to happen, and it's as preposterous as an idea as can be. But, you know, hey, this is what happens when you deal with a man baby, a sore loser who just can't get on with his life and just accept the reality. And is anybody really surprised? I'm not. Let's be honest here. You know, he is what he is. He's going to keep going on like this. He's never going to change. What I don't understand is why the GOP continues to cling to him. Where, at what point in time did they really lose their backbone? Because there's been very little response to the right about this. And the few that have been asked about it on mainstream media have always like tap dance around the answer. Where they're still like, oh yeah, he may run in 2024. I'd still vote for him, or yeah, I don't agree with what he says, you know, I'm all for the Constitution, but I'd still vote for him, I'd still support him. It is absolutely ludicrous what a bunch of cowards that the GOP has become, and that they're just some sycophants who are all for this, because deep down they don't care about democracy, they don't care about our country, and they certainly don't give a damn about the Constitution, okay? What's the goal for Donald Trump? What does he want to do? Does he want to rewrite the whole thing, or just cherry pick the few parts that he likes and maybe change them, you know, to make it more convenient for him when he needs to do something? Because, you know, that's not the way it works. And this should concern voters too, because like I've said in previous videos, like his recent meeting with white supremacists, this is the idea of what extremism looks like, what fascism looks like. I used to be approach that term fascism with kid gloves, but you know what? It's not that I want to be mean or anything. I'm just saying let's call it for what it is, okay? And I'm not saying that all Republican voters are on board with it, okay? There are a majority of them that are flat out against it, but there's still some within this whole MAGA bunch that just can't let go. You know, either they are in this like cult-like state where they'll say, yeah, we should get rid of the Constitution, at least temporarily, till we get Trump back in office, get rid of Joe Biden, and then we can go by the Constitution. It doesn't work like that, okay? You're supposed to be the party of law and order, remember? I thought that's what Donald Trump believed in. Well, obviously he doesn't, because he's more than happy to change the Constitution or toss it, or, you know, custom tailor the laws, you know, to accommodate him, and pretty much give everyone else the shaft. That's up to and especially including the voters. That includes you, you know, who still wants to support him and make excuses. And like I said, how to prove my point? Easy. I just put the shoe on the other foot and imagine what they would react like. Just like in the previous video, what if Joe Biden had met with a semi-prominent white supremacist? Okay, what would they say on Fox, and what would people on the right say? I know exactly what they'd say. They'd be going batshit, and rightfully so. And I would be opposed to that too, because again, I don't believe in being tribal. I don't believe in just putting party over country. I focus on the candidate, and Donald Trump is not a good candidate. What if Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton turned around and said, well, Hillary wants to get rid of the Constitution, this way she can be president instead? What if she tried that back in 2016? They'd be looking at her and thinking like, is this woman just completely lost her mind? But no, you've got too many people on the right who are just scared shitless of Donald Trump and don't have the courage to stand up to him. If the entire GOP party, or the vast majority of it, did that, got together and just said in a public statement, we no longer support Donald Trump. He is not part of our party, he doesn't belong in our political system, and when it comes time for the primary, we are going to make sure that he does not get included. We don't want him as president any longer. He is out. It's really that simple. And I know his base, the whole MAGA crowd, is going to turn against you, obviously, and Donald Trump's going to say some nasty things about you all on his Truth Social platform that is, you know, continuing to lose popularity. But here's the thing you got to realize is that in time, 2 years down the road, eventually they're going to change a little bit, or maybe start to forget about it, because when push comes to shove, what do you think a MAGA person's going to do? Okay, I'm not even talking conservative. I'm talking some guy who is totally entrenched in this cult-like state where he's just got to worship Donald Trump to the end. Who's he going to vote for? Is he going to vote for a Democrat, or is he going to vote for a Republican? Think about it. So I don't know why you guys just grow a pair, have the courage to stand up to this guy, this authoritarian, this fascist wannabe, and just move on with the party. Go back to truly being the party of family values. And in order to do that, in addition to getting rid of Donald Trump, you seriously need to move on and start focusing on policies. Instead of getting caught up in all these cultural issues, instead of playing retaliatory or trying to get even. With who? Joe Biden? On what? So you want to investigate Hunter Biden. How's that turning out for you? Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah, you found a bunch of nude pics. You found revenge porn. Wow. You can add that to your private collection. Show it to all your friends on Instagram. I mean, you know, I'm being silly, but at the same time, truly are the silly ones. If in 2 years in the House you help to push policies like, you know, helping to fight inflation, helping to solve the problem with gas prices, things like increase minimum wage, like restore the rights for the people that you helped to take away, guess what? The people would actually start to like you. They would actually say they're finally getting over this whole MAGA thing and getting away from Donald Trump, and you know, they're actually really trying to help us out. Your popularity, your approval ratings will start to increase. They will actually like you. And when the time's for your re-election, whenever that may come, guess what? They will more likely be inclined to vote for you, depending on what the Democrats can bring to the table. You know. If you guys haven't learned anything from the midterms, it's the whole MAGA thing doesn't work. The whole focusing on voter suppression doesn't work. Focusing on Hunter Biden, it does not work. You want to keep going down that path? Fine. See what happens in 2024. Let Donald Trump, you know, run again and see how that goes. You're going to find you're going to jam yourselves up again. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. You know, and I like to be optimistic, but at the same time, I'm not taking it for granted. Yeah, if Donald Trump tries to run, hell yeah, I'm going to vote against him. I don't want him back in the Oval Office again. He's only going to enrich himself and turn us into a fascist country. I don't want that. I support the Constitution. I believe in law and order. I support the military and the American people, unlike some other people who just want to get hung up on, you know, voter suppression and I lost the election. Yeah, I'm speaking out to some of the sycophants in the midterms who lost because they thought by jumping on the Trump ticket that would guarantee them a victory. No, quite the opposite. It guaranteed them a defeat. They lost. Not all of them, but a majority of them did. So, you know, you can cherry pick all you want. You can keep jumping to Donald Trump's defense. But when you do that, you support the racism, like I said in the previous video. You're saying to yourselves, you know what, I don't care about the Constitution. You can all say things like, oh, well, he was just joking. He's really not going to do that. You know what? I don't take anything for granted anymore. And I don't take lightly things he says, like how he likes to instigate violence. And when he says things like that, you can bet your bottom dollar. If he gets the opportunity to do that, he would do it in a heartbeat. You know, he would put himself back in the Oval Office and do what he can to say, get rid of elections. And the base would go for it. Well, I don't want that. Why? Because like I said, I care about the country. I care about people. And I'm not going to see our people fall in the hands of an authoritarian, of a fascist. I believe in democracy. I believe in the Constitution. And I believe in politicians that want to help the American people, whether they're Republican or Democrat. Yes, there are some Republicans out there that do want to do the right thing. But they're very limited and they get spread thin. So, you know, a lot of good things, a lot of good opportunities to help the people fall through the cracks. So, you know, if you want to kid yourself about this whole, well, it's just Donald being Donald, well then keep him out of politics. Keep him out of White House. Stop supporting him. Because eventually his base is going to sooner or later move on and realize that they can get nothing out of this guy. And they're going to hopefully move forward. That's what the GOP needs to do. Grow some courage, grow a backbone, stand up to this guy, and move on. Start doing the right thing for the people. Believe me, you'll be much better off. Anyway, I really hope you understand. Thank you for watching.